Now at 4:30, major developments in 2 of 4 criminal cases involving Donald Trump. A trial date is set in the hush money case, and Trump will no longer have to pay out nearly $500 million in a fraud case. Washington correspondent Maddie Biertemple reports on the latest.
The former president's criminal hush money case is moving forward next month after a New York judge set the trial date today. The trial is now set to begin on April 15th.
I don't know how you can have a trial that's going on right in the middle of an election. Not fair. Not fair.
Trump is charged with 34 counts of falsifying business records. Prosecutors say Trump hid hush money payments he made before the 2016 election to cover up an extramarital affair with porn actress Stormy Daniels. Trump called the timing political and said the trial is rushed.
The judge cannot go faster. He wants to get it started so badly.
Trump had asked to delay the trial until after the Supreme Court decides if he has presidential immunity from prosecution. In a separate civil case, Trump was dealt a win. Prosecutors were preparing to seize Trump's real estate assets because he could not scrape up the cash for a $464 million bond while he appealed the case. The New York appeals court gave Trump more time and reduced the bond to $175 million, which Trump says he can pay.
Respect the appellate division for substantially reducing that ridiculous amount of money.
That payout is part of a fraud lawsuit where a judge ruled Trump lied about his wealth when applying for loans. Trump has said he, quote, did nothing wrong. Trump calls all the legal cases against him election interference by Democrats designed to keep him off the campaign trail. In Washington, I'm Maddie Biertemple.
Joining us now is Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes. And Khalif, walk us through a busy day in New York with these 2 cases, the hush money case and the civil fraud case.
Busy day is an understatement of the century. You have the former president trying to mount defenses on multiple cases. I mean, once this all started, we kind of figured that the one domino fell and then everything else would fall in terms of him needing to be in multiple places at the same time. We were anticipating at this time he'd be in multiple trials. Obviously, he's not. So with the hush money case, the judge set a trial date, which was something that I think everyone was anticipating. He also, the Trump's team tried to get him to dismiss the case for prosecutorial misconduct, and the judge refused to do that. He said they've been forthcoming. Their office has worked with your legal team, and he dismissed it. He outright said it was laughable, and at one point during the hearing raised his voice to the point where he was trying to figure out where Trump's attorneys were going with their legal argument. Regarding the fine, that one was a little bit of a different aspect. I don't think anyone anticipated that amount being lowered. I thought that everyone moved forward saying, look, the original judge, Argeron, put the amount at almost $500 million, 350 plus the Tower taking it back to the interest. And so they were anticipating that he was going to have to come up with the money. There would be no extension. I was surprised, to say the least, that happened today.
Yeah, I mean, that was something we thought it was going to be a fire sale of Trump properties. Was it going to be Trump National over in Mooresville, part of this thing? But then we come back that it's going to be less than half of what he has to put up now. So it's somewhat of a win for Trump.
You could look at this as a win for sure, because his legal team said a number of times, we can't even get anyone to give us this bond. No one out there wants to attach their name to almost $500 million in securing this bond. So that was our first argument. The other portion is no one's that liquid. They don't have access to that types of funds. And so for him, that is a legal win. And I think the other win, the court date being set, is also a win, because this case is probably the weaker out of all the cases that he's looking at. And this is the one that doesn't have that much of the glitz and the glam. You're not talking about national security documents. You're not talking about some major case. This is the hush money payments to a former porn star, not to delegitimize the claim. This is the one that started it all, but this is probably the weaker of all the cases.
Interesting, though, because Trump has been taken off the campaign trail a little bit. You've heard a lot of it. Some of it had to do about money, that he doesn't have the money to go do these rallies. How is this going to affect him going forward?
I mean, going forward, you'll listen to the narrative change, at least for today, when you're talking about the lowering of the bond amount. Every judge, every DA, every prosecutor has been the worst thing ever. This has been, the overzealous prosecution, the weaponization of the Justice Department. But today, he struck a different chord. He said that, listen, I am pleased with the judge's decision. I'm happy, and I'll pay this happily. However, if you listen to what Biden said, he said you can't be happy and love this country only when you win. And so politically, I think he's attempting to say, listen, we're the party of justice. We're the party of law and order. I kind of got to stop bashing every judge. And so if I have an opportunity to not bash the judge, I will. However, it only lasted a couple minutes because then he went on to say, this judge is ready to get this case started. It's super fast. And so I'm not sure what he's trying to do. I do look at it as a win, but you got to look at the money portion as we go back to that real quick. This was unprecedented. It wasn't unusual, but it was definitely something that I was not anticipating. The only thing I can think of is the Texaco case in the 80s. They had a $10 billion settlement that they were supposed to come up with, and the judge took it down to $1 billion. And what did they later do? They later filed bankruptcy because they couldn't come up with that as well. So I didn't see that happening today, and I don't think his team was ready, but I know they're happy.
Yeah, it was just putting up the bond. It's not paying the full amount still.
And you got to be clear with that.
Yeah,
he tried to make it seem like I'm happy that the judge lowered the amount. He didn't lower the amount. He just lowered the bond.
Bond, that's right. All right, Chief Legal Analyst Carly Frodes, thanks for breaking it down for us.